The Nigerian Climate Justice Media Award 2025, held in Abuja on Friday, has once again highlighted the vital role of journalists in advancing climate justice and environmental protection. The event themed Celebrating Journalists Who Speak Truth for People and Planet brought together reporters, climate advocates, policymakers, and development partners. The award is part of a wider effort to strengthen climate journalism in Nigeria and ensure that environmental stories receive the attention they deserve.
Those who are collecting the award today, I think they will live up to expectations. Because what this very particular organization is telling us is that campaign for us about climate change. Indirectly, go out there, speak truth about the planet to power.
Guest speakers praised the courage of Nigerian journalists who continue to hold leaders accountable, bridge the gap between science and policy, and bring community voices into national climate conversation.
It is important that the media should be promoting the different actions that different players are actually doing on the climate change. So we're talking about issues to do with, for example, the news coverage that would come from the media, issues to do with the documentary that the media would normally do, issues to do with the opinion pieces that would be presented by the media. But even looking at the different media outlets in terms of what they're doing on issues around climate change. So these would actually help our aiming at educating the public about the science of climate change and how people should be able to address those issues.
The executive director of GIFSEP, David Terungwa, in his speech, advised journalists to sharpen their skills in climate reporting. He stressed that their work should not instill fear, but inspire solutions.
As climate journalists, as journalists, you have good news and bad news. For you journalists, you keep saying that bad news sells more than good news. So, a climate journalist must not report only bad news. You must also report some solutions, right? Don't just focus on the catastrophe and all of that it creates fear.
Representing the government, the Special Assistant to the President on Climate Change, Comrade Yusuf, reaffirmed the government's commitment to climate action. He noted that the federal government is intensifying efforts to support vulnerable communities already facing the harsh impact of floods, droughts, and desertification.
So for me, I don't see myself anymore in that angle where the activist angle. Yes, I did that a little bit now, but now I find myself in authority where we must put up policies and make sure that solutions are being created to resolve these things, not just talking. And that is where we need you media practitioners, because you need to highlight these challenges all the time. I see some TV stations, they dedicate 1 hour in a week for environment programs. Let us try, wherever we find ourselves, maybe within the print media, the radio, the TV, let's try and create an everyday environment series. Let's try, we can do it, because it's very, very important. In the last 5 years, the pictures that won awards in different international stations were environment-related pictures.
The highlight of the evening was the award ceremony, where journalists nominated from different media outlets were honored. Each nominee received the sum of 100,000 naira. The second runner-up got 250,000 naira, while the first runner-up went home with 350,000 naira. The climax came with the announcement of Charles Monday Alpha as the overall winner.
Our first prize winner tonight, going home with 500,000 naira, Charles Monday Alpha. Congratulations.
In his acceptance speech, Alpha expressed deep gratitude to the organizers for recognizing his work. to his colleague in the media for their continued encouragement, and to his organizations, the Nigerian Television Authority, Abuja, for their support.
So we are really excited today because historically we find out that the climate narrative favors the global north. Stories of climate change that are happening in communities in Africa are not usually spotlighted. And we have very distinguished and unique journalists here in Nigeria that, in spite of the challenges of journalism in Nigeria, they are taking out their time and their passion to ensure that the stories from these frontline communities are being heard. And that effort, which we have seen, we've decided to spotlight it and also recognize them as a way of motivation to ensure that we have more climate stories that are being heard and are shared across our communities.
Climate change is real, it's around us, it's living with us. The consequences are here, the challenges are everywhere. We're facing it in Nigeria, we're facing it down north, in the south, we're facing it, and different challenges across the zones. And we need people to take action. The government will come out to put up the right policies to correct things. But then there are different stakeholders, the business community, who also needs to be environment friendly in all that they do. We know the major, their intent of business is profit maximization and cost minimization, but then they need to go into those new areas of environmental sustainability, like the use of the new form of energy that we have now, like renewable energy sources, alternative energy sources. They could be expensive, but then they are manageable, so that we have a very good environment around us.
I want to say I am very, very overwhelmed and remain very, very grateful for the recognition. It took me actually unawares, but what can I say than to say thank you to the organizers, GIFSEP, Oxfam, and the African Activist Climate for all the efforts they have put in place to recognize the efforts or the work that journalists in Nigeria are making.
The ceremony ended with the message of hope that climate journalism in Nigeria is growing, and through collaboration, the nation can receive resilience, justice, and sustainability. From Abuja, I am Benita Ibrahim reporting for UTV Africa.